My guest today is a woman who was told by life circumstances, not by people, that the odds were stacked against her. She grew up without a mother due to addiction, didn't know her father until she was 21, became a teenage mother herself, and today she runs a nearly 3-decade-old business, leads a ministry serving youth in Immokalee, and is known in Southwest Florida as the Permit Queen. She is award-winning entrepreneurial transformational speaker, mindset coach, pastor, and the CEO and founder of Reliable Permit and Support Services. Her motto: if you can see her, you can be her. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming Shalonda Washington to our show. Shalonda, what a pleasure to have you with us today.
When I was growing up, I didn't have the normal luxuries that most people think you should have if you're birthed into this world. You're supposed to have a mother and a father and enjoy family and all of that. But my life did not start that way. That I was dealt those hands. I was dealt a grandmother to raise me, and my father being absent, and my mother strung out on drugs and addictions and in and out of incarcerations. And so I was a young lady who was confused, a young lady who didn't know purpose, never had heard that word before, a young lady didn't know who she was, what she was to become, and the path to get there. And so at a young age, I started with a lot of confusion and a lot of darkness in my life. The fact that I did not have a father in my life, I met my father at age 21. It taught me early in age to look in people's faces and see where their pain was. Because I was a young lady walking around and there was anger inside. I was a young lady walking around and I just, it was like I was in a tunnel. It was dark. It was confusing. Just didn't know why I was even here. Why was I even born? And from that, most young girls or even women today, you look more to your father for validation. You look more to your father for your purpose and who you are on the inside. And I learned early on that that's not determined by a person. I had to find it deep within myself. And so it shaped me in that way. And then with my grandmother being the breadwinner, being my mom, and my dad could even be a grandmother to me, so I missed out on that part of life. She had to be mom and dad, had to provide. I learned how to survive by watching her.
I can only imagine how difficult that was. Did you ever believe at that point that you will become the successful person that you are today? That was a dream of building anything at some point, or you just thought about survival?
Listen, no, I never thought, because one of the things I saw constantly was survival. And that's one of the covenants that I made with myself. When you're in pain, there's no dreaming. When you're in pain, there is no purpose in that.
Now, almost 30 years later, you run a very successful business. The building industry gave you the name, the Permit Queen. You refused to take no for an answer.
I think that this was divine, because when you look at the building structures, it's about finding pathways through things that are impossible. Like to get a building permit, the clients that I serve, they can build $1 million homes, they're making $1 billion, but they can't master the permitting, which you need that in order to make the money. So in my life, I've had to jump hurdles. In my life, I had to find a way to navigate through red tape. All the odds stacked against me. How do I beat these odds? So accepting a no, or accepting what was placed upon me, but then saying, no, I need to find a way to come out of this. And so in the building industry, that's what it is. And learning how to pivot. I mean, my pivot game is strong. Learning how to accept disappointment, but not in a sense of accepting it, but finding a way to pivot around it. Okay, don't tell me I can't do something. Tell me how to get it done. And that's the way I approach my business and any project that I'm given through permitting. It's not about you can't do something, it's about how can I get it done. And that's the way it's been in my whole entire life.
Amazing, amazing. But not content with that, not happy with that success, you and your husband Jimmy co-lead the Washington Family Ministry, serving, kids and projects in Immokalee. How you balance the life of being the CEO and the engine and the soul and the fire under your company, not taking no for an answer,
Mm-mm.
to, flip.
Yes,
How you
well,
balance
we
that?
we we learned that it's a rhythm. It's not a calendar schedule. It's a rhythm that you get into. I truly believe in the fact of, starting with prayer. That's very important for us. We pray. And with prayer comes guidance. The Bible says the steps of the righteous are ordered by him, right? So if in heaven it says it's already written, it's already written, it's already written. So I need to make sure I talk to the person that wrote the plan. That's number one. And then always staying in a place of gratitude, because we mentor and we serve a lot of people and everybody comes with something. There's no way we could do what we do well and not hear something divinely about each person. I mean, it's just like with the children. I think we was kind of prepared because we raised 5 children, right? And so each one of them are different. And so we could never use one tactic for all of them. That would not work, right? You would have some that would shut down. You would have
Right.
some that would, get quiet, and want some you need to be more stern with than others. And so I think we were graced with that gift early on, even not knowing that we were being given that while we were raising our 5 children. And so to us, it's just like having more kids. And we didn't start it with that in mind, but we're literally in the trenches with them. Like we're in there, we're doing life with them. This is not an organization where we just see them and we go once a month and no, we do life. The schools have our numbers, other family members will call us if there's something going down, and then when they hear our name, no, please don't tell Mr. Jimmy, don't tell Miss Show. So
Wow.
definitely it's something that we had to get into a rhythm. What does this look like?
That's amazing. And I
And
hope we
the
will
other thing
have
I
more
want to
people like
say,
you.
Miguel, is that they're not separate. It's all one intended purpose. Even with business, it's building people. In ministry, it's building people. It's delegation, right? It's teaching. It's building up, installing value, helping them to understand the why behind what we do.
The why. How important is that? When I interview people and when we bring this show to the public, I love to take my guests into the vulnerability of their souls. So I'm gonna ask you a very difficult question. The question is simple: is has there ever been a moment where your faith and your business were pulling you in two completely different directions? You said they're one and the same, but we both know in business at times, faith and business don't see themselves eye to eye. It was ever a time like that?
Absolutely. That's where when the profits are not showing up, the checkbook don't look to, and then compromise want to come in. But that is where I had to stand on who is my foundation? Where is my foundation? And then I had to allow faith to push us into the place where, okay, it's not on us. It's on God. He called us to this and he's going to have to do it. So yeah, I've been crippled. I'm talking about paralyzed by fear. And when fear wants to tell you if you step out, it's going to be a disaster. Oh yeah, I had to fight those battles because life be lifing, and there's some big challenges in business. And so you have to make a decision in those moments. Are you going to allow the fear or the challenge to shift who you are and why you started doing what you do in the first place? You have to
You,
trust the
you
process.
of course you have to trust that process, and now of course people that are watching, and particularly women that be inspired by you, right? They're seeing not just a very powerful individual, a believer, a woman that serves, and you say in your brand, if you can see her, you can be her. But we both know that maybe out there, not maybe, we know for a fact is women that can't see that version of themselves.
Mm.
They cannot see it. It's not they cannot do it, it's they cannot see it. Women that, came from what you came from, right? So, addiction or issues with, the family and not great environments. What would you say to her? What is the best advice that you can give them? In this particular, let's talk to a woman, her.
Yes.
What would you say to her?
I would first let her know that everything that you're seeing in front of you is from the struggles or the challenges that you've inherited. I always tell the young people that we mentor is that a lot of times we suffer from adult decisions. And you were once a girl. And when you were a girl, there was a lot of things you didn't have any say so in, right? You can't choose your family. You can't choose, who becomes your mother, your father. And so in that's not a blueprint of your destiny. That ceiling that you see above you, what if I were to challenge you and say that it's just a door ready to be pushed? Just by your faith or you may not know the outcome, right? But just have enough courage to just hit the ceiling and watch the door open. And so that is what I would tell her. I would tell her that you're not what happened to you. You're not that, not at all. And there's so much more waiting to emerge once we can accept that part of our lives. That is just that. And like when I hear women say things like, well, it's just the way I am. Or, that's what was in my culture, right? That's what I've always seen. It makes me say to them, is that really you? Or is that just a wound speaking? Because women, you have to know that women don't wake up and just be angry or mad or discouraged, right? It's things that has been built over time within them. And one thing I know for sure, if you can see her, you can be her, but I can't be what I don't see. And so if I can't see her, I will not be her. So I pose this question to you because in order to see her, you first have to have a dream. Visions come from dreams, but dreams don't develop in pits of pain. So the first thing I would tell her is go get healed. Do the work. Dig inside. Because that dream turns into the vision that turns into your destiny of where you're going. And so that's why I do what I do for women is get out of comfortability. Nothing grows in your comfort zone. It's fear keeping you stuck because you don't want to feel, because it is uncomfortable when you can even begin to imagine yourself or see yourself outside of where you are now. I look at the eagle, and I just shared this with the women at Esperanza 2.0. I look at the eagle. The eagle rattles its own nest. It tears it up. Why? Because it knows that if it does not, that same nest will become a cage and you will become entrapped in that. I've been there. Because of the fact that I experienced my mom in and out of prisons, my grandmother took me there, and I had the experience as a young girl of prison doors being shut. Bang, bang, bang. Every time I walked through a door, I could hear that. And that has done something. It did something to me for a long time. And this is why I say, get out of comfortability, because that is just something that happened. And a lot of things that's happened to you, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It will be the very thing that propel you into your purpose, from pain to purpose. And you'll be able to tell your story and tell it sounding, know that your voice matters. And now, guess what? You are equipped, and now you are, I would say, anointed, qualified to pull somebody else out because of what you went through. So you didn't go through it. You're not going through this for yourself. You've got to come out of the comfort zone, because that is what keeps you stuck.
But if you want to see Shalonda Washington, the permit queen, a woman who built, by God and refined by fire, follow
Yes.
her on Instagram at
Mhm.
Shalonda Washington. Visit shalonda-washington.com to book a mindset coaching session if that's what you think you need. You can grab her merch because there's somebody that is definitely worth to feel proud to wear in South
Wow.
Florida. And you should go and enjoy or be part or experience a day with Shalonda Washington. And I think, what is the next one? August 28th? Or is
Yeah,
it
August
anything
the
sooner than that?
28th. Uh-huh.
At the Perry Hotel in Naples. Shalonda, thank you so much. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm looking forward to see you soon.